So if you came to ask me, is Resident Evil 4 Remake better than the original, then I gotta say hell yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's not gonna be a long review because I'm about to go jump into my 4th fucking playthrough. So it's gonna be awesome. In the gameplay, I will be posting some early game spoilers, but nothing late game, nothing really story-wise, so you should be safe. And I did capture my gameplay on PS5 in my 2nd playthrough on New Game Plus, so yeah. So why is Resident Evil 4 Remake better than the original? Everything that the original does right, the remake does better, and that is what a remake should do. If we're talking characters, Leon, absolutely amazing, cooler than he was before. It's like they made him a bit more serious, but also kept a bit of that like that riz in there. So dude be doing unnecessary shit all the time just to look cool, but it works. But it never comes off as like corny or cheesy like the original. As much as I love the original, it doesn't make you roll your eyes. You're like, yo, kind of unnecessary, but pretty cool. Ashley is no longer a annoying little like Leon toy. Like she's actually really good now as a character, and in a gameplay mechanic she's much more manageable. She doesn't have a health bar this time around, so that means that if she gets hit really hard, you don't have to worry about wasting your heals on her. You can just pick her up and she doesn't die. And they have a little useful bar when she gets picked up. They have a little useful distance bar to let you know, hey, if she gets further than this, then she's gone. So that's pretty cool too. I've only lost her a couple of times and I've accidentally shot her a few times. She does die, so be careful of that. But this time around actually was a much more welcome game mechanic. I really liked her and her character. Ada was all right. I don't see why the hell the actress getting the hate, which she shouldn't, so fuck y'all for that. Not y'all, but y'all, you know what I'm saying? She in no way made the game bad at all, so I don't know why this person's getting hate, but stop. Louise has much more to do with the story this time around. Everything is excellent. Just the characters as a whole, they're really good. They're really polished. The story, a lot more polished than the original. Any plot holes that were kind of like left out there, they're filled in now. The game is actually darker than the original, and not just by, you know, brightness. It's actually, the tone is a lot darker. I was like kind of like surprised that they was doing some shit, and I was like, hold up, bro, this shit kind of dark. I love it though. They got rid of some things such as a few annoying boss fights that I dreaded going to do in the original game, and they made them a lot better. This is just what happens when you take a piece of steak and you just trim the excess fat off of it and give it a good sear till it's like a good medium rare, and then you let it rest, and then you cut it open, and then you get that, you know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Talking gameplay was just probably my favorite part of it. Like I said, I played this game already 3 times back to back. Once on hardcore, in which I do not recommend starting on hardcore because holy shit. And then twice on professional, New Game Plus. Took me about 20 hours to beat it first time, going through slow with everything. Second time, 8 hours. Third time, 5 hours, just under 5 hours or 30 minutes. So it is definitely speed runnable, and I'm pretty sure I could hit a time faster than that if I don't search for jewels and shit. But the game is a lot of stuff about it. It's amazing, but the gameplay is excellent. Replayable as hell. A bit more skill based than I thought, but once you get it down, like at first when I started playing, I was like, oh, the aim is a bit weird. They keep slipping past my arms and shit. But when you get used to the high-paced gameplay, because it is meant to be played in a high-paced way, you pretty much turn into John Wick. Like in some areas, instead of rushing through, you just kind of walk through. Bap, 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 bap. He actually does that, the little hand, the gun tilt thing. We're in close quarters, so like very awesome to see. The kicks are back, the body slams are back. All of that like hype shit is back in the game, and it's made kind of like more grounded. It's like grounded without losing its magic, but like magic, but not like going overboard. It's just perfectly balanced as all things should be. Nearly every weapon in the game is viable. Like every single weapon that's in the list, and every weapon that you find, you will find some kind of use for it. And that's really cool because I like running back and using different weapons that I didn't use before. Of course, I have my favorites, but sometimes I get tired of you holding the same gun, so I switch out, and it's really cool. Merchant, look, I'm always gonna love my man, the Merchant. I'm always gonna love his original lines and his original voice, but this Merchant is pretty good. I really liked him. Homie represented well. I'm very happy with it. Quick time events are gone completely, and I'm very happy about that. That's all I'll say about that, because I don't want them to bring it back in any other Resident Evil game after this. Please don't. And the boss fights, now some of these boss fights, like, look, I'm used to Souls games and shit like that, but in Resident Evil, like, I gotta say, I probably should have played this shit on standard the first time, because I was getting my ass kicked. I still get my ass kicked, and I be playing on professional New Game Plus. I still get my ass kicked. So maybe I need to play it on standard, but just know, hardcore don't start. It lies. It's like, hey, if you've played Resident Evil 4 before, press hardcore. No, motherfucker, press standard. you need to get used to this shit first. The level design of the game is excellent. They have a lot of shortcuts looping back to each other in the loading screens when it comes to like going through certain doors, like in the old one, which is like, that's part of the magic back then. But you know, it feels good now not to have to stress about, you know, going through these stupid ass loading screens when you really want to rush somewhere. Makes the experience a lot smoother. Overall, the game is beautiful, and there is some things in the game added, such as merchant quests. You know, back in the day where you had to go shoot the blue medallions, yeah, he actually gives you quests throughout the game now, and some of those quests require you to backtrack into the game, but like it gives you incentive to go back and explore the map and travel around and get extra stuff. It doesn't make you feel like, oh, I gotta walk all the way back there. It's like, ooh, I want to walk back there and see what it got. And usually when you have to backtrack, it's not too far away from where you got to go next, so that's always useful. It's like, go over here before you leave and do this, and I'll give you some spinels. And spinels are like a different currency now, but you'll figure that out. Overall, man, I literally, when I think about the game, first off, I can't really find flaws. I'm pretty sure if I dug deep, I'll be like, oh, you know, this, no. Like, if there was something I probably had to like complain about in this game, it's probably just the jumping difficulty when you get hardcore. Like, cause some of the, I'm not gonna mention the levels, but the OGs knows, like, you know, the two, you know, yeah, that shit was not fun. Like, it's exhilarating, but when you play on hardcore and you're struggling like a proper survival horror game and you don't have any ammo, and you know, new enemies keep coming in, and then you just getting battered, and you know what I'm saying, it's not fun. But once you figure it out, you'll be proud of yourself. And that just leads me to the question, is the shit scary? Hell yeah, scary. Like, if you talk about like walking into a dark room and not wanting to go around the corner or seeing some shit, yes, checks that box. And then if you want to talk about like just in general, like the thrill of motherfuckers on your back while you trying to survive and you shooting and then they sneaking up on you, that shit's scary too. It is an action game, but it does kind of delve deeper into the horror, and I'm always very intrigued with media that can do that. One of my favorite action horror films is I Saw the Devil, and it does a really good job with that serial killer horror, but also a whole bunch of like action, what the Koreans do really well. It applies here to Resident Evil. Capcom does an excellent job at bringing out that scary, that fear, but also making you feel like a badass. You know what I'm saying? Like, even no matter how good you get, I don't know about you, I got pretty good. I'm still playing on professional, but like no matter how good I get, I still feel fear like, oh shit, somebody happen. You know what I mean? Like, even if I played it 4 times, 3 times, you know, something about to happen. Something do happen. Sometimes I'm about to die when I think I'm not gonna die. Even when you get the infinite touch of death thing that I'm not gonna say, but y'all probably already know, you still feel in danger. So, you know, if you haven't picked it up, I highly recommend picking it up, for those who are new to the series and to those who are like me, veterans. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what y'all thought about the Resident Evil 4 remake in the comments, and I'll see y'all whenever. Bye.